Hi, people. Things are happening in Nigeria. Events are moving at a very fast pace. Maybe you just wake up one day and you will hear that election 2027 has come. You'll be wondering, when did we conclude the 2023 election? We have not even finished suffering the suffering of the election of 2023, and we'll find ourselves in 2027. Welcome to If You Ask Jimmy. This edition, it will be a reference edition because I'm going to make some postulations here that someday in 2027 or beyond, I'll come back and tell you, I told you so. Because there are so many things I said offline before I started this social media channel before 2023 elections that are happening right now. And let's get on the journey. The governor of Delta State, Governor Okowa, has defected from PDP to APC. Also, the former vice presidential candidate of the PDP, Okowa, has also moved from the PDP to the APC. This is not, what is it called now? This is not, it's not a fable. This actually happened. I'm sure a lot of people will be taken aback that Delta State, APC, well, if it happened with Rochas Okorocha then in Imo State, and from him to Hope Uzodinma, and people like Governor Umahi, who is now the Minister of Works, could defect, a lot of things are happening. And if Wike, who had been the strong man of PDP all the Buhari years through, himself and Fayose, if he could go to work for Tinubu, you should know that in Nigeria, anything can happen. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, YouTube says only 25% of my viewers are subscribed so far. 75% of you have yet to subscribe, even though you come back to return. Look at English, you come back to return. Even though most of you are returning viewers, please come back to return and help me click the subscribe button. I'm on a project 1000 where I'm appealing to you to please, let's take the number of subscribers on this channel to 1000. Thank you. I appreciate your viewership and appreciate your subscription. Please go ahead and press the subscription button right now. Guys, a lot of things are happening and we do not want to treat this issue on the surface because, in Yoruba, they will say that if death is taking away one's neighbor, it is actually a proverb to someone. Let's check first what happened with the Delta State aspect where people moved en masse from the APC, from the PDP into the APC. It just happened on April 23rd. Let's see. This thing should just cooperate and play. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to play what Channels TV captured the moment when that defection happened in Delta State. The governor is there. You can see also Okowa standing here in the picture. And it is for real. Guys, when people say never say never, I think that's a statement that is valid in Nigeria. Never do what? Never say never. That's the Delta State governor himself. He's the one that is commandeering the people right there. Guys, this is for real. This is for real. Now look at all the government, look at all the politicians. Look at all of them. Look at the former governor. All right. Let me. Okay, this is.
The bond of love that has existed in our state to further advance the cause of security and welfare of our people, and to a very large extent ensure that development in Delta, because every politics is local, is not truncated. And in taking that decision, we came to the inevitable conclusion that moving out of the PDP is very, very necessary for us to be able to collaborate with our kith and kin and build that state that every Delta will be proud of. We believe that what is happening and the state of the PDP is akin to that palm wine whose states have changed, and there was a need for us to change the drinking pattern.
Okay, so guys,
unanimously,
let us move forward on this one. You can hear that guy that is speaking there used to be a journalist with AIT. His name is Charles Anyagolo, and he is a very credible journalist. But to think that opposition, one of the strongest opposition states that funded the last election for PDP, has emptied into APC en masse like that. In fact, from what we hear, there's going to be a kind of power sharing arrangement between the APC and PDP, almost 50-50, at least concerning the political appointments. Guys, it's a signal. I'm going somewhere with this presentation. Also, apart from that movement in Delta, 716 people in the what would I put it now? I think in is it Jigawa State right now? Yeah, Jigawa State. 716 of them. 716 of them actually moved into the APC. Let's take a look at that, and I will now sum up everything.
In Jigawa State, more than 700 members from 3 major opposition political parties have defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The mass defection, the party is a significant boost for the APC as it begins to consolidate its base ahead of the 2027 general election. Yusufisa Asma.
A total of 716 members from the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), and the Social Democratic Party (SDP) were received by Governor Umar Namadi during a citizens' engagement forum in Gagarawa and Duse. Malang Habibu Dandogo led a group of over 200 new APC members in Gagarawa. He said they were inspired by Governor Namadi's leadership and administration's focus on development and accountability. In Duse, around 500 others were welcomed into the party at the government house. Governor Namadi assured the newcomers of equal treatment within the APC, saying the party does not discriminate between founding members and thus joining later. The governor described the development as a vote of confidence in the APC.
We have received a large number of people in Gagarawa.
Can you see, guys? Can you see people tearing the party card of PDP? They are moving en masse into the PDP. To them, the church came out recently and amplified the song that this guy sung, Timaya's song, as they sweet us, they pain them, as they pain them, they sweet us. It's also Wike's national anthem when he's doing campaign. Let's start from the side of Delta State. Someone says here to Africa, in Channels TV post, he says, this is terrible news to the people of Delta and Nigeria at large. I'm amazed to see that people are so concerned with their political survival and forget the well-being of their people. That's so true. APC brought unimaginable hardship and suffering to the nation. Yet, and should be rejected. Look at another one here. Atiku and Wike have destroyed PDP. Atiku's lack of leadership is a problem. Wike's betrayal is a problem. Almost as if they were both secretly working for APC. Atiku has to retire ASAP. Wike should be kicked out of PDP immediately. Peter Obi has to step up, unite the party, form a strong coalition with other parties, and lead an opposition with a better chance of defeating APC in 2027. Well, it's interesting to see how politicians in Nigeria, they are not ideology driven, they are driven by their bellies. There's something in the Holy Book that says that people whose belly is their God. And if they are not really getting any flow, maybe like cash flow or any benefit from, the position where they find themselves, what they do is to make sure that they align with where the oil and the milk and the honey is flowing. And that's what you are seeing. And this alignment that is happening in Delta State, for example, is like a positioning just in case PDP loses out. It's going to be bad for them at the local level to win their elections. So for some other machinations, they have stepped into PDP. And you see what? People don't just defect. They don't just say, here we are. The kind of poaching, the kind of approachment, the kind of, maneuvering and strategic, penetration, strategic marketing and demarketing to demarket PDP and to market APC that the APC are doing aggressively. You can see how they are harvesting people into that party. So in Nigeria, it's not about the well-being of the people like someone put in a comment. It's about what is in it for me. WIIFM. What is in it for me? What are the politicians going to gain individually and as, political blocks? This is power equation. You see, I said something when El-Rufai was gallivanting all over the place recently, trying to, badmouth Tinubu, from there badmouthing APC and all the rest. And you can see how they took him to the cleaners, and people like Reno Mokri came out with facts and figures, and you can see he went to SDP. Where is that SDP today? All the people he went with, where are they today? And started talking whether it favored the North, it didn't favor the North, and all the rest. And people are coming with facts and figures and their dossier of what they did and what he even did as a governor. Although, he was very instrumental to the election of President Tinubu. But, when he couldn't bear it again and he had to come out after some time, like over a year plus, getting to almost 2 years of losing out in the ministerial race, you can see that, it didn't even last long, because people are saying, what is his political equity right now? What is electoral value? And that it cannot even, it shouldn't be taken seriously. I said during that episode that Peter Obi is a credible candidate. Very soon, people will start shouting, the election was rigged, the election was rigged. You can see how APC is meticulously doing, for good or for otherwise, how they are going about recruiting more people into their party. All the people that leveraged Labour Party that time to win elections, how many of them stayed faithful to Labour? Where is Labour today? Labour is pieces, Labour is fragmented, and even towards the election and just after the election, you can see a lot of things that were not even known. Look at this guy. What is the name of this guy? This Okonkwo guy who was just like the face of Labour. People like that jumped out. People like late Dr. Doyin Okukwe, they jumped out. A lot of things, a lot of undertones. And even the legislators that were elected on the platform of Labour, they didn't make any difference in the House or in the Senate. All of them took cars. You would have thought that is a new brand, party, as if it is not. People didn't realize that it is just a special purpose vehicle, an SPV, for Obi to just win that election. They almost mobilized that party, but I like what Obedience did. They kept at a point, they started distinguishing Obedient Movement from Labour. If not, both Obedient Movement and Labour would have been swallowed up. But I like that aspect. Go and check my video on El-Rufai in this channel. All those alignments, I did a video on it, and I said Obedience it is good that they distinguish themselves from Labour, even though they formed the crux of Labour. They were the driving force, they were the energy, they were the fuel that was pushing Labour. Now, I advise Labour, the obedient movement is a very strong movement that is the most organically formed. We can even say, apart from the time of the NCNC, the Action Group, and all those parties, when we have GMPP, UPN, LPN, NPN in the Second Republic, PRP, NPP, NAP, the obedient movement for almost 40 years in Nigeria is the only organic movement that was formed based on the interest of the people and trust in a leader. But the obedient doesn't have a party until today. For Obi to go back to PDP, I'm sure he's not in a position of strength. Obedients know how to fight people a lot and how to attack. They have attacked me. But guys, it's better that you listen and let that coalesce to make sure that you bond together and form and align in a way that if that obedient movement is a party, they will win more disciples to them. Obedient, if Obi keeps going as an individual to parties, he will be in a very precarious, if not weak, negotiating position. PDP, it goes back to PDP that he was vice presidential candidate to Atiku and he moved to run on his own. If Obi and Atiku had stayed together and Kwankwanso, they would have beaten Asiwaju Tinubu hands down. Asiwaju Tinubu didn't win that election in the sense, semantically, it was Obi and Atiku and Kwankwaso that lost. They lost individually and they lost collectively because they didn't have the force of one single party. People are forgetting some of these things are commonsensical. It's arithmetical. One party, strong party, split into three people. Atiku took some votes. Go and add the votes of Atiku and Obi and Kwankwaso together. The votes of these three people would have defeated Asiwaju with a reasonable margin. But they went their separate ways. Obi is finding his way back to that party. He has to negotiate. The Saint Obi that he could have been in Labour without anybody to breathe on his neck, he will have to. Politics is a game of negotiation. It is what you bring to the table. And they will put terms and conditions on the table for him. T and C applies because the party doesn't belong to him. And PDP is not a party. People will be asking me, as he said, he's going to PDP. But we saw some moves that lose the body language. Like, even if he's not the one approaching them, they might be the one approaching him. Mind you, Atiku, let me quickly switch to Atiku because I don't want this video to be too long. Atiku has successfully done a nunc dimittis. I hope it will not be postmortem for PDP very soon. It's just that PDP has been a very strong and formidable party that has roots. That's why PDP is still breathing. But it still has some energy right now. I hope very soon it will not be on life support or whatever. Why? Because the problem of PDP, how it is fragmented today, to the point that it is, has to do with the repeated handing out of the PDP ticket to Atiku. And that's part of the issue why they lost Wike and 5 governors in the last election. Atiku is a credible candidate in Nigeria, but PDP is bigger than Atiku. And as long as Atiku has the, what do they call it? He has the war chest. It looks like some people cannot resist him. And there is no contest. See how Tambuwal last minute actually played a game with Atiku and Wike was gotten out of the equation during that last time. If not, Wike was heading to win. People talk about Wike. All these politicians have their own baggage. Is it Atiku that doesn't have baggage? Is it Tinubu that doesn't have baggage? Is it Peter Obi that doesn't have baggage? Because he has been in administration before, only that some baggages are lighter than some other baggages. Atiku is a big factor, not in uniting PDP as it is right now, but in trying to please Atiku, PDP has been hurting themselves repeatedly, and Baba Atiku wants to still give a shot at the presidency, and the credible vehicle that he can use is the PDP being the biggest formidable party. Atiku is not new to jumping here and there. He had been presented as a candidate by the current president. You see, people underrate Tinubu. Atiku had been a candidate under Tinubu, a party that was formed by Tinubu before. They gave him a platform, so they know one another. Look at people like Bode George. When that man is speaking, people should listen to him. He has never minced words. He has been very dispassionate in analyzing the issue of PDP. People say that Wike wanted to be president. I'm sure some people will be saying, this is defection. Where is this man taking us? I'm taking you on a journey to extrapolate and to expand your horizon to see that it is beyond what you are seeing on the surface. There are a lot of undertones. You see a lot of people in PDP that are coming out to talk, to speak fragmentally or fragmentedly of a party that seems to be looking together. Look at the national chairman who recently went to the governors forum meeting in Ibadan, and the governors forum were saying something, and party members are saying that is not the neck. It's not the national executive committee of the party, and they can't make decisions whether they are going to have coalition or not. And 2 years to the election, the candidates are still floating. Are you getting what I'm saying? Very soon, people will cry foul. There's a candidate that is meticulous, that is pushful. It doesn't make him the best candidate, current President Tinubu, but he has signified his intention to run, meaning that he has thrown his heart in the ring. He is the man to beat. And if at all these politicians are serious, you see, it's selfish interest. If they really want to coalesce, they will coalesce. They will come together and they will make things happen. But everybody wants to be president. Do you see how Tinubu stepped back? Buhari himself, people are saying, no, somebody came recently to say that they cannot win without the North. It's a very, very funny statement. Nobody can win without the North and the South. Buhari had a cult followership of 12 million, whether true or false figure or some true and some false. But at least we know that he really has people on ground who were giving him that repeated vote. But with all the northern votes, you see, because that person that said that thing was under a very, very funny illusion, thinking that because of size and population, without the vote of the North, is right, his half-truth can be dangerous. That's half-truth. That vote never got Buhari, who has been the most patronized northern president since this third republic, northern candidate. It didn't get him into the office. First time, Olule. Second time, Olule. Just like Tinubu chided him. Third time, Olule, and even cried on national TV. So the northern votes couldn't get Buhari 3 times until Asiwaju packaged him, dusted him up, and sold him to Nigeria, and cooperated and gave him some backup in the south, and that's how he was able to win the election. Now, winning that, no matter how big the vote of the North is, and the North is not the hegemony that it used to be, we have the middle belt as well. So, also the votes of the South are needed. So the Southerners too, who wants to win votes, they need not just the Southern votes, even if they say it's the turn of the South or the turn of the North, they also need Northern votes. Every candidate needs the whole of Nigeria. People should understand that politics is not sentiment. It is not a wish. If wishes were horses, beggars will ride. Politics is serious business, and politics involves a lot of, it involves a lot of calculations. And the people who know the game, especially this Nigeria that, money plays a big role, it also requires a very strong war chest. That's what people like Tinubu and Atiku have been capitalizing on over the years. And right now, with all these defections that are happening, let me tell you how it works. The states that a party has, the more likelihood that the sitting governors will use. It's not proper. It shouldn't be. Parties should be funded by party members, but we know how it operates in Nigeria. Usually the politicians in position, especially the governor, that's why the governors are so powerful, they fund elections. So a state, one for APC, is more resources for election and mechanism and a kind of structure for APC. Delta is one of the highest earning states in Nigeria, and that is why it's a big loss for PDP. And some states that have not even left or declared, some of them are shaky. There have not been any national convention of PDP, which is still the biggest party right now, and a lot of things are still going on. Damagun, all of them are still going all over the place. Nobody seems to have any direction. Very soon people will start crying foul. So the important thing is this. This government, there is only one way to show them the way out if Nigerians are not satisfied with them, and it's through the ballot. And that ballot can only happen if it doesn't favor them. Don't forget, there's always the power of incumbency. The government holds the yam, they hold the stick. Of course, we are clamoring for credible elections in Nigeria, but trust me, most governments, nobody wants to lose. And that's why you will see most of the time it's very difficult to defeat the incumbent, not because they are the best candidate, but because they have all the state machinery and they have more resources. Even governors at state level, it's difficult to defeat them. It's only occasionally that they don't come back to do the second term. Delta has emptied into APC. Jigawa is emptying. The PDP people are defecting. I think parties in Nigeria, not just the PDP, needs to put their house in order, including the Labour Party, and also the candidates should sit down and strategize and stop just populism that is not, non-strategic populism. There should be strategic, some strategy. They talk about there should be a method to the madness. There should be some strategy to whatever moves that these politicians are making at this time. I will rest this video here. These issues are evolving, but it's a very it's a very, very significant thing in Nigeria. I don't know which word to use, that Delta State is going the way of the opposition. I hope we don't end up with a one-party state. It's never the best for any country. And it doesn't, it's not as if this government is so super fantastic. It's not as if they are doing everybody good. It's not as if everybody is happy with them. But it's like they are getting their politics right. Opposition should get their politics right. And also, people should find a common ground and to resolve whatever issues are between them. And that coalition, they need to form it and, be able to wrestle power from the current government in the forthcoming election, because that kind of change is what the people need for new ideas, fresh, whatever energy and ideas, to be introduced to repair Nigeria. This is probably one of my longest videos recently, but I have to do it so that Nigerians will be able to understand where we are and where we are going. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Please help me to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for clicking the subscription button. I'll see you on the next one. See you. Bye.